Well, hello, everybody out there in podcast land. That's a great way to start this thing. Hold on. Well, hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Welcome to the Get Happy podcast with moi, your host, Rude Runny Davy. Thank you so much for being here. And I have a very special guest today, the Miss Rachel Silber. We met in 2014, she reminded me, it was an advanced 3-day body class with the creator of Access Consciousness. It's his fault we're here, Mr. Gary Douglas. So that's how long we've known each other. But
his fault we're happy.
Yes, indeed. But you know, this is like the first time I've really gotten to know Rachel. We couldn't even start the podcast because we couldn't stop talking. I know you guys can't imagine that because, you know, I really like talking a lot. So thank you so much, Rachel, for being my next Get Happy podcast guest. And if you would please introduce your lovely self, tell the peeps out there in podcast land who are listening now or in the future, who you are, what you do, all the things.
All the things. All right. Hello, podcast world. And hello, Rue. And first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to play with you. You are one of the happy, glorious voices out in the world for being happy and for showing us that, you know, there's always another choice and happiness is that choice, just like your hat says. And I have a matching hat to that, but it's in my drawer downstairs. It doesn't match my outfit.
If we do this again, we'll both wear our hats and we'll do the rapping version of the Get Happy podcast. Yo, yo. You know.
I get happy now. So I call myself, I've been an access consciousness facilitator for, I've been a bars facilitator since 2011. I've been a certified facilitator mostly on since 2013, and I was a rather miserable bitch prior. Spent most of my life being diagnosed with depression and told that I was bipolar, diagnosed as bipolar, medicated with all sorts of stuff and all of that, you know, rigmarole that this reality tends to be. So I used to get my weekly lithium injections and I would have, yeah, I know, it's just crazy, man. And I would take a cocktail of all sorts of stuff that I can't even remember the name of. The last one I finished with was Wellbutrin, but I went through quite a few different goodies in the cocktail to make me feel better. But what I didn't realize prior to having the Access Consciousness tools was that I was actually aware. I didn't get that. And go figure. Go figure. I'm like, wow, you know, we've got this amazing tool in Access, and I think I just sort of got it like last night. Who does this stuff belong to? or as it's been modified, who the fuck does this belong to?
Right. Just last night?
Well, I get it every time a little more, but what I love about the Access tools is that the more you play with them, the more you get the depth and the breadth of them, and the more they become part of your life. And you get I mean, like, dude, I'm doing this month-long, I call them energetic explorations. So they're sort of energy pulls, but they're not directly just energy pulls. They're just kind of being with energy in the space. And this little private Facebook group that I have called Space of Possibilities, which was my office space before it ended up being shut down with COVID. But the Facebook group was named after my office space, Space of Possibilities. And that's what we've been speaking about in Access so much recently, is a space of possibilities. The Creative Edge call that they had this month, the Space of Possibilities. And I love the spaciousness that the tools give you when you're willing to explore them. So in the morning pull, I was just getting how much choice creates awareness. And I've heard that for years. When I first took a bars class in 2011, that was one of the things that Gary had said in the video. You know, remember, choice creates awareness. Awareness doesn't create choice. And it was this like, ding dong, have I actually ever heard these words before?
You get it when you get it, people.
You get it when you get it.
And also the energy pools thing. Can you just speak a little bit about that? Because some of these listeners may not even know about Access and what an energy pool is. So would you
Well,
mind just sharing with our listeners what an energy pool is?
For me, more than anything, it's willing to recognize your energetic being, and that your energy is like all the other energies in the world. You can invite, you can pull, you can direct, you can ask. And to me, when we are truly being us, we are an energy pool walking.
Mhm.
The way most people approach what are energy pulls is actually directing. It's like, when I ask you to expand, you'll naturally just expand.
Mhm.
But some people love to be guided through and expand out to the four corners of the room that you're in, and then expand out to, beyond your house, and then to the city block, and they'll go step by step. I tend to just
Yeah, I have a go-to planet. I just say Pluto, and I'm like,
Oh, and I love that you said Pluto, because one of the gifts of Access is laughter and irreverence and joy and phenomenal. To me, that's just, it lightens up absolutely everything. You said Pluto, and then I got, the Disney Pluto. I got the Pluto of, is it a planet? Is it, there's just
right.
so much joy and in this, like, in what Pluto could be. And so the energy pulls are basically an invitation. You know what? When we're being us, when we're choosing to be happy, and when we're being us, we are naturally
Yeah.
the pulls that we truly be. We're naturally a question that asks. A baby that comes to this world, to this planet, just pulls.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to talk to them about, oh, let's do, energy pulls, and this is what, we're going to have you do, or something like that. So we got to reposition this kitty here.
She wants in on the conversation. Who is that little furry?
This
Little
one
furry
is
puss. Oh,
hello.
hi, pretty.
And she
Yeah.
loves to hang out between my legs. Sometimes my leg falls.
So does my puss. I have an orange puss named Pepita. And every night she likes to come, and first she'll be on my leg here. And for those of you that, she'll lay her head and her paws this way. And then before it's over, I've got a tail in my face because she's right, and she's kind of a big girl. So, but that's our
she's right in there.
ritual. Yeah.
There's such a contribution. Most of us have the tendency to only, and this is where we don't pull, right? When we're willing to be like a kid, like a baby that just shows up into the world, and everything is new and everything is different and everything is a wonder, and a curiosity and a whoa, what is this? That's being a natural pull.
Right.
That's being the natural curiosity that invites. And we tend to forget that when we go into our heads, when we learn that when we're kids, right? Everybody tells us we have to be and do things a certain way, and we forget to pull. We forget to be, and
Right.
being is naturally pulling. But cats are such a contribution. We have 3 in the house, and then there's the doggie who thinks she's in the next couch over, and she thinks that she's a cat. Thankfully, she
I
doesn't
wonder how
climb
many
on me as much.
lifetimes, I wonder how many lifetimes your dog was a cat. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
How did I get a dog body this time? I don't know how I got. No, it's not a dog. I'm a cat.
I'm a cat.
I'm a cat with a dog body.
Sit on the table. She'll sit on people when we're doing body processes, because until COVID, I would do bars exchanges here every week, and a bunch of people would show up, and she loved to contribute whenever there's exchanges, cats and her, whoever would allow. She's a bigger dog, so some people were, oh, I don't know if I want Annabeth around, and so then I would keep her downstairs. But when they were chill with having a dog, like for some of the body classes and foundation classes that we've had up here, she would contribute so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Animals are a huge contribution, just like Mother Nature. Every morning I'm in my hot tub and I'm SOPing with the planet. I have my little mantra. I say, what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities, ESB, and SOPs can me and my body be to contribute to you, Mother Earth, so that you can create yourself the way you would like to be created.
I
And the
love
universe doesn't
that.
allow it, I pot and pocket, and then I immediately feel this reciprocation, because the planet has a heartbeat,
Yeah.
And always wants to contribute to us, and that again is the pulling and the receiving, because it's interesting how when you pull, the pulling isn't necessarily you're taking something away. It's a
No, you're
way of receiving.
activating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and the more you're willing to receive, the more it's able to gift.
mm,
I had the luck, the blessing, the whatever of being in Texas for a 7-day class at the ranch a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, I
yeah.
don't know, whatever, right before Thanksgiving. It was amazing. And looking out at a night sky when you're not in the city, looking out at the stars, it's wherever your eye goes, there's more. And wherever you notice, some particular cluster of stars, there's more. And you can always look beyond and beyond and beyond. And it just shows you that what we think is available is only the top of the iceberg, so to speak. There is so much more available to us at any time. And the more we admire it, the more we see it, the more we are grateful for it, the more we connect with it. It seems like it goes out into the universe, reverberates, expands, and returns. And it was just amazing to me. We got to peek at the telescope that Dr. Dane has, and we were asking questions about how it works. And do not ask me to tell you, because I have no clue anymore. That didn't stay in my head like all the technical stuff, but I was astounded by how much our very appreciation of the universe allows it to expand. It's not just the universe that we see or that we've labeled. This is our place in the universe. And this is, there are multiverses of possibilities available to us, and that are around us and that are playing with us if we're willing to receive. And just the looking out into them, noticing them, and being willing to receive, like you in the hot tub. Your being willing to receive allows it to be and to create even greater.
True story.
And I love that.
Yeah, people, I'm this earth's bitch, and that is the truth. 100%. What a beautiful contribution she is to us if we're willing to receive it. And there's so many people that are just like little robots doing their thing, driving by these beautiful trees or flowers or whatever it is, and they just aren't seeing it or perceiving it or receiving it.
Well, they're disconnected. Most people think of themselves as themselves. We're not ourselves. And this is where it goes really like off the deep end. We're not our names. We're not our past. We're not our story. We're not our culture. We're not our age. We're not our gender. We are kind of an expression of this at this moment, but we're everything. And it's occurring all at once. And when we let go of, this is my perspective and my experience, we can see beyond it.
Right.
And it's beautiful. In that same 7-day class, I noticed that where Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, the co-creators of Access, where they were speaking from, the energies that they were inviting us to came from space. Everything that they were speaking of was energetically very spacious. And every time any of us came up to the microphone to ask a question, myself included, it came from a contracted path. It was a delineated, defined, this is me, this is my problem, this is my thing, this is what's going on. Can you contribute to me? How many times do we do that where we think we are whatever it is we think we are, but we're not? We're actually space. As beings, we're space, we're energy, we're consciousness. There's the beauty of that is so breathtakingly astounding. Like there's
Undefinable.
totally, you can't confine energy. You can't define energy. You can't, put it in a bag, stick a bow in it, and there you go. There's always so much more to discover. And these tools from Access, they're like that too, because the more you play with the tool, the more you begin to perceive the space in it. And the more you perceive the space in it, the more possibilities show up. The more possibilities you see in the world, the more possibilities you see in yourself, the more is available in general. And it's like being on this high, this trip for years. I have not taken drugs, but I can tell you, sometimes I wonder like how many psychedelics I may be on just by using this tool.
Story. I mean, sometimes I get a little dizzy. It's funny, I facilitate classes as you do, because we're both certified facilitators. And I jokingly always say, I'm an infinite being pretending to be Rudrani Devi.
Yeah.
And
this you took on a role, you're the leading lady like this. And you've been other things before, and you'll be other things again. And
True story. So you keep going on about these tools. I'm curious. First of all, how did you even find Access Consciousness? I would like to know a little bit
about. Because I was wrong, and I was terrible, and I had to listen and to read and to do stuff to try to fix myself.
Right.
And so I found Gary Douglas and another facilitator on the Sheila Gale show. And I was a telesummit queen. I would, sign up for these different telesummits. I was a seeker looking for, what is the meaning of life? 42. So I was looking to find the answer. And what I received when I listened to Gary and I listened to these different interviews and conversations, I got no answer, but I got the questions that led me to finding. And it isn't to finding and kind of, oh, I found me. No. It is finding every day, every minute, every class, every conversation. It's all freaking brand new.
Yeah, every day can be a new adventure if you guys are willing to receive it. It's like,
like 50 first dates.
Right. Yeah. Who or what are we today? And I include my body always, because it's with me all the time. So who or what are we today, and what glorious and grand adventure are we going to get into? And that's a no-brainer. That is every morning. Yeah, every morning.
I love that you ask a question, because the question not only opens up possibilities, but I love the word question. Quest. It takes you on an adventure. It doesn't end. You're on a quest. And what quest are you going on now? What adventures pinging? What's lighting up, along the path? What are you going to play with and create and enjoy and contribute to? And I love
the theme song from Lost in Space, which was before my time, by the way. I watched it later, after. I'm not dating myself back to old ancient times. Not that it matters, but I think that thing came out in the 50s, and I wasn't even a figment of anybody's imagination yet.
At that time, imagination. You said figment. I remember the Disney in Epcot.
Oh, that's right. My goddess, I need to give you the microphone, because I didn't realize how much you enjoy singing.
Well, when I facilitate, and this is where I don't take myself seriously. I don't like a lot of titles. I don't generally even write that I'm a CF or I'm a this or I'm a whatever.
I do it to fuck with people. I've got so many titles. And you can't see, but on the wall over here, I have all these things, certificate. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just to fuck with people.
I don't think I even have my college. I was divorcing my ex-husband when our college degree came to the address that we used to share, where I was no longer. I don't even have that. I care not about any of those things. I fuck with people by singing.
There you go. Well, this is my little joke. It's like, if I can't break into song, then I'll refund your money. You don't have to take this class. We can't be friends or whatever it is. I mean, everything is a song. I mean, that's my joy.
To me, it's facilitating. When you can lighten up any situation, when you can look at anything and not have to make it bigger than you, then you create that space of irreverence, of joviality, of lightness, of being happy, and
Sure.
not letting anything at all be bigger than you know? And sometimes songs just pop up. I mean, when we've listened to so many songs growing up throughout, whatever and whichever culture, certain things just kind of pop,
Sure.
and they stay in there and they're great for facilitating. So
They are. People kind of, I've had people specifically say, well, I chose to take the class from you because I know you're gonna sing part of the class. I mean, I had somebody from Australia and they were getting up at 4 a.m. I mean, it's easier to wake up earlier in Australia. If you've been there, I have. And you just automatically start waking up with the birds at 4:30,
well,
5 o'clock anyway. But she had to be on and online with me. And I was like, okay,
on
you
like
get the prize
with the video.
up the earliest is, and she had to do that for all the days of the class. It was because I
Class.
teach, I don't know about you, but because of COVID now, I can teach in different parts of the world, but I might be teaching India from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then in the evening, I'm teaching a class in Australia or in, well, actually Turkey was the mornings also, but Australia would be the evenings.
Yeah.
So, and then the magic time, I think, is around 2:30 if I want to facilitate to as many countries as
As many
possible.
places as
It still
possible.
leaves,
Yeah.
it still leaves people out. So it's like with teleseries I'm getting ready to do, it's 90 minutes, at a sweet spot 3 days in a row, just so that I can
More
include as
people
many
would be able to
people.
hop on live. Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
kind
I
of
love the
been a
sweet
blessing
spots.
that way, It really has, because I've gotten to meet people all around the world that normally I would fly out and just do a class just there. But now I can have a class, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well, where you just have translators that are on your class as well. I mean, I just did a free call about gaslighting, and I had 105 people on it. I couldn't see them all because each translator also
Had
has their own
separate.
Zoom.
Yeah.
But they would be asking questions through the translator, and it's just so phenomenal to think that you're actually reaching out. And that's where the energy pools thing
It's
is
a
there again.
small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a
It's a
small.
small world after all. I was doing the harmony.
So step the fuck up.
Oh yeah. Anyway, can't top that, y'all. You can't
Yeah.
top this.
Dun, 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 dun. So that's the choosing. I mean, we could take ourselves seriously. We could try to make everything so professional and so perfect and so, or we can actually begin to relish living and relish the adventure of living and enjoy creating what works for us. That's part of the gift. I'm a Being You certified facilitator as well. And
Right.
to me, the everything in access points to us being us being us in relationships, us being us with our bodies, us being us and perceiving and receiving everything from the planet. Us being us is the gift and the key for me for
Yeah.
everything.
A lot of people don't know that they can actually be themselves. Some people may not even know what that looks like. I mean, I find that true when I'm doing relationship done different classes where
Yeah.
they're like, what do you mean I can be me? I'm a daughter. I have to wear this mask. Yeah, there you go. For those of you who can't see, you're going to have to watch it on YouTube. She's got a face mug with her little silly face mug. But the whole thing is what if you actually being you, which is your being you class, is what people are looking for? It's like this relationship done different. Why not have a relationship with yourself? You're carrying this body with you anyway. You may as well enjoy it instead
Yeah.
of drugging it. Like here you were, you've been diagnosed as bipolar. You're taking all these meds. Well, Butrin is a killer. I'm constantly, listen to me. A lot of what I facilitate is helping people get off of their depression medication, because what it does is it basically puts them to sleep.
Yeah.
But it cuts out
Sleepwalking
their
through
awareness.
zombies. They become living zombies.
No awareness allowed. It's like, I can't deal with this. So I'm going to take this pill, and I might take it with a fifth of, I don't know, whatever, whiskey.
Yeah.
And they just check out. I mean, I intimately know, I'll just say a friend of the family who does this just to be able to sleep, to take the medication
Yeah.
with a copious amount of alcohol. And then they wake up and everything's dandy again for them in their world of being unconscious.
But the thing is that it's what they've defined. They've made themselves smaller than anything in the rest of the world. Well, one thing I really, really got from, conversations with Gary, with Dane through the years, again, co-creators of Access, and you can perceive this by reading the books. I mean, like How to Become Money Workbook is not about money. Sorry. It's just called that. It's how to become, how to be, how to function, how to flow. And yeah, I love that stuff. I love the How to Become Money Workbook. The original one is 88 pages of gold. And then that one takes it and just explodes it into more. And it's beyond the things that we think are problems, and it opens us up to possibilities. And the thing, see, I've got a bit of ADD. I always add things, add thoughts, add multiple tracks going on.
Yeah, we don't make ourselves wrong for that, y'all. But we have a tendency to tangent off into other, realms. But we always get right back to where
it's all adventures. Eventually, it gets tied with a bow.
Eventually, it's a quest.
There you go. There you go. But what I perceived from Gary is that we can either be at the effect of everything. The world's so big and so loud and so many no's and so much going on there, or we can actually recognize that we are the infinite beings who are so expansive, and this reality is inside of us. And we can make it as big or as small or as loud or whatever as we like, but we no longer have to live at the effect of it. When I didn't realize that I was actually aware, I bought that I was depressed. I was actually living more in other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions than being aware that I was aware.
Right. Yeah, you guys, you can be the drop and the ocean. It's
what possible. A concept. Rumi said so, and then Dr. Dane did too.
Sure. I mean, I've talked about this several times on this podcast where, the world has in the last, 18 months been a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And so if you're feeling—
That's an understatement, honey.
Just saying. But the thing is if you can expand beyond that, include everything and exclude nothing, I'm not telling you that it waters things down. I'm just saying, you're not the effect of it.
Yeah.
You're in that space of inclusion. Doesn't mean you have to buy it as yours, peeps.
Yeah.
That's not all what I'm saying.
Being aware of it does not make it yours. That's huge. Mic drop, baby. When you can see it, drop that mic. There you go. I love it. See, when you can see it, and then you don't have to make it bigger than you. Yeah. And that's what I love about facilitating, is that you can see it, you can take the significance out of it, and then you recognize that you don't have to be at the effect of any of it. You can actually perceive the little puppet strings. When you ask, in this crazy Cocoa Puff kind of world, what part is the truth and what part is a lie, spoken or unspoken, you can recognize that so much, like really so much, is lies that are around us, lies about how important something is, lies about, people's judgments are all lies too. And they tell us more about where these people are stuck and where they're functioning from. And many times they just don't know any different. And it's not like a personal thing.
The thing is none of it's real. But judgment isn't even real. It's not real and true. I mean, it's just somebody's point of view. That's it. It doesn't mean because they have a point of view about you that it's true or real for you. It might seem that way to them, but that's the piece that I facilitate.
It's their fart. We can stand there and sniff it, or we can walk away.
Right. Why do we have to align and agree or resist and react? Why can't we just say, okay, I'm including this in my world. It doesn't mean that I'm going to subscribe to it. Yeah. If that's working for them.
Have you seen the movie The Help? Is one of the classes that I took from Blossom Benedict. She used that as a metaphor, and I loved it. The scene in The Help where the maid that was fired brought back a chocolate pie for the lady, but it was with her poo inside. No matter how much, they tell you that they love you and they're doing this for your own well-being and whatever, because they really, really care. That's why they're judging you, right? It's shit mixed in with the chocolate. You can just say thank you so much and you can put it aside. You don't have to eat it.
Right. That's a great, I love Julia Sotis Mathis. She was one of my co-hosts for a book club that I did for Choosing Happiness, which is the reason why we're doing this podcast. That birthed the podcast. But what I did is, once the book was published in 3 languages and we had just shut down, I asked 5 other facilitators if they would do 2 chapters each with me.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
I read the first 3 chapters on my own, and then each chapter is a tool of access. So we would do 2 chapters at a time. And it's glorious. It actually lives on my website, y'all, rudranidavy.com, and you can purchase it. It's got the videos and the 5 other facilitators, and it's a fabulous way to learn about many of the tools of access. If you are at all curious, please don't buy it.
Oh, that would be terrible. And don't get the book, and don't read these tools, and don't, get the Being You Changing the World book, or that's a Dr. Dane book, or I love the Divorceless Relationships book.
Oh, yes.
That's another one that to me is a
gold.
It's a golden book.
I'll make sure all the links are there, y'all. So if some of you are like, but I want to read that, then I'll have it really easy for you to get to.
Yeah.
So, well, okay. So you've been talking about a lot of tools. Maybe the first tool, what was the first tool in Access that spoke to you, or what is one of your favorite tools? Because we keep talking about tools.
So many.
Being the tool.
I even have some on my hand. Usually I put it on my wrist, but because this is a long sweater that tends to go down, I take a few moments with myself in the mornings and I just put a little reminder, like my little temporary tattoo. So I've got the word be, because for me, it's all about being me, and being me isn't like I know who I be. It's a discovery process every single day. Every single day, there's something new to discover and explore. And I just wonder, what if I were being me? What would I like? What would I enjoy? So I've got that. And in my E, I've got a J and a G. Ease, joy, and glory. The mantra of Access Consciousness is all of life, baby. Hands up, baby, hands up. Give me everything. I'm not judging or excluding, baby. Hands up. So it's all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Who the fuck are we with our limited, tiny, minuscule perspective, for the most part, when we're living as finite beings? We don't see what the greater picture is. Sometimes, I mean, heck, I remember being divorced from my first husband eons ago, and I was miserable. I wanted to end my life. I thought everything was just terrible and awful. And now it's great. If I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't have, gotten here. And now, and he was a gaslighter of magnitude, since we were, speaking of gaslighting. And, the brilliance of having that experience is being able to be me right now.
Sure.
And all of life, even that shit, has brought me right here, right now, with everything that I've been aware of and everything that I've chosen.
Right here, right now, watching the world wake up to history, or her story.
All story.
Well, all story, your her story, history, all histories.
Everything. It's artistry, when we're willing. Oh my freaking goodness, it is artistry. It is a masterpiece, literally unfolding if we allow it. And we don't have a stuckness of it's got to look a particular way. And so that to me is fantastic. All of life comes with ease, joy, and glory. Is you're in communion with everything. You're willing to receive everything. You're not numbing your awareness. You're not shutting anything down. You can just ask to have more allowance with all of that awareness of stuff, but you don't have to medicate yourself in order to be able to survive. You can be that spacious, that expansive, and thrive. And that's a different way of being in the world. And what else is possible? Magic. That is a magical tool. And what else is possible? I have no clue. Like the yumminess of everything that I've ever thought up to now, or any thought that's ever whizzed past my head like a cloud, past a blue sky, or even a, totally filled with cloud sky, it's just another thing that's going by. It's what I've seen up to now. But what else is possible beyond anything I've ever seen or
Mm.
dreamed of?
I love that tool as well. It's like whenever I'm in a space of, I don't want to really call it stuckness or whatever, it's like, okay, that didn't work. This didn't work. And when I say work, I don't mean in a judgeable offense way. I mean, like,
Yeah.
okay, that didn't turn out the way I thought it would. It leads to the next question, which
Yeah.
is what else is possible now? And then all these possibilities show up for me to choose from. It's a smorgasbord of choices.
And inviting you onto a quest on that smorgasbord
Sure.
of choices.
So I love that. I absolutely love that tool so much.
And that where you were saying you're stuck. A lot of people say that they have problems or that they're stuck in something. And that's where there's another tool that I absolutely adore. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. It may look like a problem when you're looking at it from the limitations of, everything that you've bought is true and real, and all the lies and all the points of views that you've held up to now. And that's been the point of view. But if everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, what formlessness, what possibilities are there beyond the form that you've given it, beyond the limitation and the definition that you've kind of contracted and compacted it to? And that is the space that I perceived in the 7-day. Gary and Dane were speaking from space, and all the rest of us were coming from, this narrow path. But when everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be, what's available here? If we flip it on its head, literally 180 degrees, that tool is flip and flip and flip. And what else is available here? What can I now see if I look at it from a different perspective? If I just check it out from a different way.
Multitude of choices, you guys, a multitude of choices. Well, this is called the Get Happy podcast. So why don't you tell our listeners how you get your happy on? We notice that you like singing a lot.
Yes.
Usually I'm the one doing all the singing, but
I love to sing with you. What an honor. But I sing off key and I don't give a fuck. I'm willing to, I've sung.
Have you ever taken a Right Voice for You class?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you'll
But,
know that there's no such thing as being tone deaf.
Yeah.
Because there's the tonal quality. Now, you may say you're singing off key, but there's still the key you're singing in.
Yeah.
It's not the key you're singing with.
I love that. Marching to the beat of my own key.
Right. I just want to point that little piece out. I love Right Voice for You. It's like a being you class on steroids, because it kind of forces you to face your fears.
Well, actually, just saying, and you can play with doing a voice of being class, but
I'm actually working on that with another CF. I've just got to get it approved to where we're going to facilitate together. She'd be doing the being you part, and I would be doing the Right Voice for You part. And
that's
kind
awesome.
of a joke, Right Voice for You, because when people take the class, they think it's a singing class or a public speaking class. It kind of started that way, because right is a judgment, wrong is a judgment. The point of the class is what works for you. You could say what works for you, voice class, whatever. But
except most people wouldn't get that. That's why the How to Become Money workbook is called How to Become Money. And people get drawn to fixing a money problem rather than if you're willing to really read between the lines, it's an invitation to being.
Yeah.
And when you're willing to speak your voice out, putting words down in a book or singing in a song or having conversations with the waiter, when you're going to the restaurant, if you're allowed to go into the restaurant, depending on whatever the crazy loco coco.
We're pretty open in Nashville now. You almost don't know there's a pandemic.
Oh, that's awesome.
A few people that wear masks and all of that, but we're all kind of like business as usual now. It's got.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
No, we are still in the, you get out of your house, you have to put the mask on. It is obligatory everywhere.
Well, there's some places where you can't walk into the facility with that one, but there aren't many. Like you can wear the mask to walk to your table and then you take it off.
Get
And
off. Yeah.
even
Once
that,
you're contained, socially distant in your little table with your 12 closest
no
friends and
parties.
relatives.
No parties bigger than 8. I had a birthday and I finally found a place that would let me, because I had several friends that were going to come and I didn't want to eliminate people. And
Yeah.
so, okay, I've got to pick the first 8 that said yes. But it took me a while to find a restaurant that would do that. And they gave us a back room.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
The other
celebrate that way.
possibility there is it's either doing it outdoors, or you could have also done multiples with multiple groups of 8 and just kept celebrating, and not
I'm still
necessarily all on that
celebrating.
day.
I'm
Yeah.
still celebrating. I've had several one-on-one dinners, and my birthday was October 1st. And here we are, December 2nd.
It's a whole year of freaking
2021.
celebrations. Why limit it to just one
That's
one
what my
day?
mother said. She goes, and it's so funny because she's getting access by default just by living with me.
Yes.
But I said, what am I going to do? I said, I can't keep celebrating all these birthdays. She goes, just be grateful and receive it. And I looked at her like, did my mother just say that?
Yes, she
This
did.
is what I would say
Love
to
it.
her, all the things. But yeah. So how do you get your happy on, my lady?
I actually pretty much just wake up. I look outside my window and you can't see it because of the glare, the sun's coming in, but I live over a ravine and you can see all the trees and you hear the birds in the morning. And usually I get a cat on me at 6 o'clock in the morning and she'll do the massage, not the one that you met on my lap, but one of the other ones. She comes and sleeps with me. So she'll massage me generally at least once or twice in the morning, and I get the butt in the face and the tail whacking me, and then she'll sleep between my legs or
Right.
something like that.
Mother, feed me. This is no joke. I massage you, you feed me.
Yeah, we're here. It's actually not about feeding because they always have food out.
Oh.
It's about, I'd like to contribute to you.
Oh, I love
And
it.
it's fascinating to me. My friend, Dr. Helen Gitlovich, who's a 3-day body facilitator and also an access facilitator, she came and facilitated an access class and an Akashic Records class here. The first time she came to my house, she saw Canella, the cat, and she said, "Oh, your familiar is here." And I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but that is so light. And then she told me, "Oh, you've been a witch before, and that was your cat." Or she wasn't necessarily a cat before, but she's been with me and has come along for the ride and to contribute, and she still does. And it's really interesting to watch. We've got a balcony going down to go downstairs here in the house, and there are pillars for the balcony, the strips of wood to connect. And sometimes she'll sit on top of one of those posts, and it's like the perfect kind of cat witch picture, if you could imagine, just sitting on the on the little pillar there.
Perfect. Post that in your group where you're doing the pools, the energy pools, the kitty cat.
Yeah, she comes and hangs out. She's always part of everything that I do, and it's beautiful when we're willing to receive. Really, when we're willing to receive. And to me, it's recognizing that we're not alone and we're not apart, we're not separate. But when we're willing to be in communion with everything, not alone, apart, and contained, but just space, everything begins to play and interact and intermingle, whether it's the sofa that you're sitting on or the plants. My balcony is filled with plants, and most of the things that I do, but it was chilly this morning, I stayed in, but generally I'm on the balcony because the plants literally participate.
We do these classes and I always see you outside.
Yeah,
which is
I
so
love
cool.
being outside, but it was chilly, so I wanted in.
You know what? We had below temperatures here, and then today it's going to be 70s. So it's like I'm in short sleeves again. It doesn't make any sense because usually December 2nd, it's pretty freaking cold. But literally a week ago, we were below freezing. Like Thanksgiving Day was rainy and cold, and then the day after, we went and took a walk in 39-degree weather, and I had my fur coat on, and
now you're in sleeveless summer garb.
My fur cap, and I'm taking the walk with my siblings, the ones that could make it, and and we were like, my nose was so frozen when I got back, but I just had to get out in nature because it was so sunny and beautiful.
Yeah.
I was like, Mother Earth, whatever you need to be, I don't care. That's what fur coats are for. I'll just throw on one of one of my furs and go take a walk. So I got to wear the cheetah that has a big hood, and I had a hat on with the hood over the hat and the
and gloves and
gloves
scarves.
and all this. Yeah, that's, I love all the seasons. And for me, it's my big joke is, yeah, I love winter for the accessories. So much fun. Get out into nature with all my accessories,
I remember being at university first year. I went to Brandeis, and it's up north. It's in the Boston area, and I had never seen snow before.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I grew up in Texas, and I'd never seen snow. And Texas meaning Houston, so like if any snow comes, it melts within like moments of hitting the ground. Typically it doesn't last very long, but I had not seen a snowfall before.
Wow.
And I got there and it started snowing. I was in English class, and the professor knew I'd never seen snow because everybody kept forecasting snow. I was like, please, if there's snow, can we go out? The entire class got dismissed so we could stand outside, and they were showing me how to catch snowflakes on my tongue.
Wow.
Well, everybody had.
Can you acknowledge what you created there? The whole class gets together. And they've all seen snow, y'all, but she's like, oh, can we go? Like,
look at the excitement. It's like being a kid.
Sure.
What if we lived
Well,
life
that's me
like
every
that
day. That's me every day though, Rachel. I mean, I am like, my joke is people are like, how can you be so happy? You almost lost your life and your marriage broke up and da, 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 da. And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't see it that way. I see it as I'm still here, and oh my goddess, I'm so immature. I enjoy my nieces and nephews' kids. I mean, I enjoy my nieces and nephews, but their kids are even more fun for me because
it's that enthusiasm for living.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying, oh my God, it's the enthusiasm, literally the breath of joy and creation that comes out. And you ask me, what do? I fucking wake up. I look around me and I notice the wealth and the beauty and the possibilities that are around when I hear the birds singing, when I look out and I see the plants. It isn't necessarily picture perfect, as some people may desire. And look, my husband's got leukemia, and there's all sorts of things that are going on. My mom's got a bit of dementia going. There's all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
But I can be at the effect of it, or I can choose the space of gratitude and the space of just wonder with everything. And so it isn't so much of a doing. What do I do? Yeah, I dance. Yeah, I sing. Yeah, I crack jokes, sometimes good ones. Sometimes I laugh and nobody else gets it because I'm so busy laughing that I can't even get the joke out. But I'm just enjoying. I'm enjoying living and being. And that, to me, the greatest gift of all, the greatest love of all is happening to me. That was going through my head earlier, that falling in love with just living, falling in love with being, falling in love with
actually liking who you are.
Yeah.
That's the thing about me. It's like, I don't care if you like me or you don't like me. That's not going to affect.
Not my business. Not my business.
You don't want to hang out? By all means, go the fuck away. Why make yourself miserable if you think you have to be around me? It's like my siblings. Sometimes I can tell that they're not so comfortable around me. And I'm like, yeah, you can leave if you want. I mean, I'm very grateful for all of them. I really, really and truly am. They always show up the way they are.
Yeah.
I would show up the way I am. I mean, I'm a little undefinable. I get it. Gary said it to me once. He goes, they can't control you. You're out of control. You're out of linearity. You're out of context.
It's the danger zone, baby.
What's that, babe?
It's the danger zone.
Well,
they don't know how to deal with that.
They don't know how to, they don't know how to control, because when people are willing to truly be themselves, how does that show up? Well, you're living in 10-second increments. It's not about a formula. It's just, I follow the energy constantly. What's light and heavy. I remember being on a Be Weird. My gosh, what was it? The second one.
Be different, stay weird.
Be different, stay weird future, which was 2020 calls with Dane. And he was talking about following the energy instead of going into this little robotic thing where we just automatically we get up. And so that means we have to have coffee. We have to have this. And I ask my body every morning what it wants. And so I like raise my hand. Yes, Rudrani. I'm like, okay, so is it knee? What is it when knee jerk is, following the energy every morning or every, minute of the day? And he goes, well, that Rudrani is being aware. I was like, oh, that, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was making myself wrong for, because it wasn't the coping mechanisms that the rest of the people
Well, what was weird is it finally gave me a space to acknowledge that I was actually being the tools. I'm the biggest tool I know. I mean, it's like I'm actually not just doing the tools or living the tools. I had become the tools.
Yeah.
And it's scared a few of my friends. I mean, I have one friend who couldn't recognize me at all. She'd come over for dinner and throw all these F-bombs at me because I wasn't willing to go down the rabbit hole with her. And then later she sort of fell on her sword or whatever. She said, I really need my bars, but I'm so sorry. So she comes over and she said, I just didn't recognize you because you, here's the thing. It's kind of a joke where in my classes, I'm always like, are you Rue ready? Are you really Rue ready? Because here's the thing. We are so used to being judged and judging ourselves that when there is somebody willing to receive all of you, warts and all, sometimes people aren't willing to receive that. And I'm that person that I'm not going to judge you. If you want to be miserable, I'm an allowance of that. If you want to be happy, I'm an allowance of that. Yeah. I don't care what you choose. I'm here to facilitate if you're willing to receive that. And if that works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, great. I don't have a point of view about it. So the big joke is are you really Rue ready? Because there are some people that are so pissed that I'm not judging them.
Yeah, and you're not telling them what to do, and you're not giving them the answers.
No, I'm showing them how they can get their own answers, if you want to call them that, quote. Let's put that in quotes, because it really is about choosing what works for you. Don't even listen to the word. Ask anything that I say. Ask, hey, is that actually true for us, body?
Yeah. What do I know here?
Feel that way, or because what's light is is going to be true for you. If something I say makes you laugh, probably true for you. Yeah. Because it's making you lighter. If it makes you heavier, then that's not for you. Yeah. And I don't have a point.
How often are people choosing their lives, choosing everything based on the heaviness, the contraction, the intensity, not of space, but of judgment? And that's why people go to judgment, because they can pick
they can recognize it. They can recognize it. I was texting with a friend this morning and I was saying, I think that this reality is addicted to trauma and drama. If there is trauma and drama in their life, they don't know how to be in the world. Yeah. Except for maybe in a few second increments, maybe when they have an orgasm. I don't know, but it's like this reality's got it back. Everything is the opposite of what appears to be.
What appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what appears to be. See why I love that tool? It's so funny to me that the trauma and the drama and the sadness and the upset and the depression and all of that gets so much.
Well, it
so
becomes a valuable product
about it and talk about it and deal with that. And when you talk about, happiness is just a choice, smallest class and access ever.
I know.
People are willing to have happiness. They like, show me how to deal with shit, rather than, you don't even have to go in the shit. You can just go over there where there is no shit. The air is fresh and you can choose something totally different. No.
I want my shit pie. Don't take away my shit pie.
Yeah, totally. And it's fantastic. It was very funny that my family loves, like, we do movie nights. I'll run, one of my the kids, or generally my husband's bars or something, when we put something on, and it's fun, clears up stuff, and we get to enjoy a movie. And they watch things sometimes, especially my daughter, with a lot of trauma and drama, or she'll show me things on Instagram with a lot of trauma and drama, and I'm like, dude, you don't even have to get involved. Not your reality. Just choose something different. She said, yeah, I know. That's the world of access, but this is this world. Like, you get to choose.
Compartmentalizing. I love it. Compartmental out of the mouth of babes. I love it. So, okay, so I could talk to you forever, but unfortunately, this show is not a 24-hour show. And if you're still with us, God bless y'all, because we've been all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So, do you have any classes coming up, and where could people find you?
Yeah, people can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm not under my name. I'm under UB Joy, and that's really my invitation. And on Facebook, you can find me as Rachel Silber, or but there's a lot of Rachel Silbers apparently. I had no freaking idea, but there are lots of us on Facebook. But they'll find one that looks particularly like more adventurous or funny or whatever. There you go.
They'll find the
That would
link
be
below.
fun.
They'll find the
Yeah.
link below. So
Okay, awesome. I've got a link tree that has all my links. If you go to linktree.com/Rachel Silber, everything is there, including the whole month of energetic the energetic explorations, because they're explorations and they're being space and they're pulls each weekday in December. They're welcome to join that in the Space of Possibilities group with Rachel. And I think there's a Zoom link also where you can sign up if you just want the Zoom link, etc. That's there too. And I'm doing a foundation class with my glorious co-facilitator, Dr. Helen Gitlovich. And I love the Access Consciousness tools. Like really, if you get that, the gift of you being such a change and a difference in the world by being willing to not buy into everything as so real and true, there's a way that you melt everything around you. And you have so much more joy and so much more fun and so much more ease. So the foundation class, which you facilitate as well, and we've got loads of people on the Access Consciousness website who facilitate it all around the world. It's going to be online. We've got people from the Middle East. We've got people that are in American time. So it's quite cool. I wonder what it'll contribute and change. It is the 17th to the 20th of December, and I would love to invite people to that with us or wherever it pops. The tools are a blessing that you don't even realize is there until you begin to use them.
Amen, sister. Well, thank you so much for being. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being, and thank you so much for being willing to have this conversation and being my guest on the Get Happy podcast. It's a delight to get to know you better. And
I am so grateful for you, Ruth. Thank you. Thank you. And I love your book and I love your cap.
You guys are going to have to go to YouTube.
Yeah, you got to see
get all the visuals.
The beautiful, brilliant, bright yellow, happy book. Get Happy, and the red happy cap also.
It also speaks.
Oh, and you've got it in Spanish and in Portuguese.
And hopefully by Christmas, we'll also have it in Russian.
Happy Russians? That's just crazy.
I know, it's an oxymoron.
I know, but also Spanish. I don't know about Portuguese. I think they're maybe, a little looser, a little happier, but, even in Spanish, they do the telenovela. I know, I live in Guatemala. They do the telenovela. Very, very good.
Just a choice, y'all. Just a choice.
But the thing is, if you actually relish and enjoy the choice, how much fun can you have, even if you're going into a telenovela? How much happiness could you have knowing that it's just a freaking game? It's an illusion, as you were saying before, and you can just play and have fun. It's not real.
So if you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe or hit the like button. Maybe share with your friends that you know to get something out of this crazy all over the place train ride we just had. And thank you so much.
It's a quest.
And until the next time, ciao, ciao for now, y'all.
Thank you.